Hello, hello. All right, so we are going to get started here on the movie industry analysis, and I will go ahead and share my screen. And my last video is 18 minutes, so I am going to go through this one much faster and get my timer going. Here we go. Okay, so movie industry analysis. Microsoft wants to create a new film studio and they want to know what types of films are doing the best at the box office so they know what to focus on creating. So what defines box office success, right? Do we have ticket sales, which you'll see in the analysis correspond to gross revenue, worldwide gross revenue, or is it profit, or is it return on investment? And I looked at all three in this analysis, and we will do our best to get to all of them. And I looked at which genres are the most successful by these three metrics, and what's the best predictor of box office success. So first I wanted to look at production budget. So is production budget correlated to revenue, right? And we can see here there is a positive linear correlation. We have domestic gross revenue, foreign, and worldwide. And so to correct for production budget, I decided first to take a look at return on investment and see which genres have the highest return on investment. We can see they're horror, mystery, and thriller. Then we want to know, are those also what do the best at the box office? Because they have a much higher ROI or have a very high ROI. We can see 1,200% on average for horror, but do those correspond to ticket sales? And we can see what does best at the box office. Worldwide gross here with ticket sales is adventure, animation, fantasy, sci-fi, family, and action. And most movies tend to be a combination of 3 to 4 genres. Some are 2, maybe more, but most of them are 3 to 4. Okay. And then profit. So which genres have the greatest profit? Also, we can see they're not the same as the ones with the greatest ROI, but you can see here we have a really close relationship between profit, worldwide gross, and production budget, which we kind of knew this looking at worldwide gross and production budget because we saw in the first figure that these two are correlated. So production budget, worldwide gross, and then profit are all coupled, and they're all correlated, and they're all these more popular genres here. So then we want to look at popularity. So I wanted to know if these genres are more popular. So I took a look at this data from TMBD. These data are not box office data. So these are movies that have already been released. It's on their website. It's explained in the README how they calculate this number. But we can see here, yeah, it does look like for all of these ones that seem to be the highest profiting, grossing, so ticket sales, and have the highest production budgets, they also tend to be the most popular, which makes sense, right? Film production studios are already investing in the most popular movies because that's what people like, it appears. But it could also be from the other end. Well, because so much more is invested into these types of genres, they're way higher quality films with top tier actors, just the best of everything that goes into making a film. So it's probably a little bit of both. Yeah, okay, so keeping on time here. So in conclusion, the highest ROI genres are not the most popular. So we can see that right here. The horror and all of those are less popular. So even though they offer the greatest return on investment, because they tend to be lower budget, they are not the most popular. Okay, so yeah, so in conclusion, there we go. And the genres that are the biggest box office successes by the measure of ticket sales also have the highest profit and production budget. So, and I mentioned this before, higher production budget equates to higher quality talent in film. And I already mentioned the last one, so we will keep going. So as far as recommendations, if the budget's low, I'm going to recommend to go ahead and invest in the genres that have the greatest on average returns on investment. So those are going to be horror, mystery, and thriller. And then if the budget is high, definitely invest in the most popular box office genres, which have the greatest ticket sales and profit. So you can get a bigger overall return, right? Bigger profit if the budget's big. And yeah, so these 4 genres with the addition of family and action. And movies, again, tend to be a combination of these. So if we look at a big box office hit like Avatar, we've got, that one was adventure, fantasy, sci-fi, and action. So all 4 of these genres. And the production budget on that movie was somewhere in the 200 to 400 million range. I believe the ROI was somewhere in the 400 to 600% range. But then we look at movies like, again, The Blair Witch Project, very low budget and huge return on investment, did 250 million at the box office. So yep, those would be my recommendations. And as far as further research goes, I'd be interested to see, since most are a combination of genres, when I was looking through the data, I could see all the highest worldwide grossing movies tended to have, it looked like they were similar in the genres they had. So I think it would be really cool to do an analysis of that to see. And then what makes some movies with high production budgets flop? An example of that would be one of Marvel's movies. Marvel's movies consistently do really well, but their movie Dark Phoenix Rising flopped. I believe the production budget on that was in the 300s, like 330 million or something like that. It flopped. They lost a lot of money. I think 170 million or something. That's not exact, but it's somewhere in there that they lost on that movie. And they only had, one really famous lead, and she wasn't even that famous. And so I think it'd be interesting to look at how many famous lead actors there are in a movie and how that might impact a movie's success or not. And then look at any trends in release dates. So there we have it. Great. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for joining me.